All right, folks, this is not a ride-sharing video. What up, folks? Once again, it's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. It is making the news wires. It's certainly being discussed on left-wing media circles, not necessarily as much on the right side of the aisle, probably because this could stoke internal division. But as you see, the name of this program, the program you're watching, is titled, Should or Will Ron DeSantis Seek Election in 2024 on a national level? Now, make no mistake about it, this is a MAGA-friendly program. I do not ban, block, or censor anyone, and MAGA are my preferred guests. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome as well. But the question we're asking today is, should Ron DeSantis enter the fray? Why are we asking that? Well, a large portion of prominent Michigan Republicans, not only did they sign a letter asking Ron DeSantis to enter the fray, they actually flew all the way down to Florida and gave it to him personally. So there are Republicans that clearly prefer someone else, clearly do not want Trump to seek re-election, and many of them are targeting Ron DeSantis. So I'm asking that question. Should he run in 2024? Do you think he'd have a chance? Do you think if it came down to DeSantis versus the Donald, DeSantis could prevail in any fashion or form? Now, we'll go straight to the comments, but before I do, tap the screen, get your boy up to 5,000 likes, bring me more MAGA. There is no fear of being banned, censored, or blocked here, unless the TikTok gods do their thing. I make the solemn promise. I'll give you plenty of time in the box to state your point. Regardless if you agree or disagree with the host, never means a damn thing here. In the comments, make Africa great again. You know, in regards to making America great again, there's no shortage of folks, particularly minorities, that'll ask, well, when was America great? You could ask the same question in regards to Africa. When was Africa great? You are a Democrat. Says, I can't pronounce what it says, Macmillan. The name of the program is titled The Handsome Liberal. Yelling out that I am a Democrat in the comments is not exactly rocket science. Just follow the name of the program. F you. Once again, says Macmillan. I understand I always get a few trolls in the audience. I can handle trolls better than Pixar films. Nevertheless, I get them. I welcome them. You will not be banned, blocked, or censored. State your point. All right. Hey, how do I contact you about a fundraiser for my son's GoFundMe for medical? Different program. I don't know. Listen, my email address is on the program, but that's not something that I normally do. DeSantis president with Candace Owens, vice president 2024. I certainly see Ron DeSantis being competitive, highly competitive, in fact, in terms of gathering Republican voters and being in the national election. If Ron DeSantis ran against President Biden, even though I'm left, even though I'm a liberal, there is absolutely no damn way I would predict that Biden could automatically or easily beat DeSantis. I believe DeSantis would be highly competitive. However, with Candace Owens on the ticket as a VP, that certainly destroys any of the minority vote. Why not get Herschel Walker in the job while you're at it? I just do not believe Candace Owens would be a proper partner for DeSantis. Nevertheless, I understand a lot of my beloved MAGA. That's what you want. Fair enough. As a liberal, I'd want you to do that. I actually like your personality. It says, I got to hold my tablet up because I cannot read the comments. The background is too close to the color of my shirt. Empress Lexus. Thank you. Appreciate that compliment there. All right. I'm left, but I'd vote for DeSantis, but not with Candace. You know, in regards to Ron DeSantis, and I'll go to the box. I see someone's in there, but in regards to DeSantis, many would suggest that he'll give you, for the most part, the same policies of President Trump, without the tweets, without the rhetoric, without the division, or certainly not as much. So if you favor the policies of Trump, but you do believe the tweets, rhetoric, and division was not necessarily good for America, DeSantis should be your guy. Now, in regards to DeSantis without Candace, I believe that comment would resonate with a hell of a lot of Republicans and some independents. All right, going to the box. Joe and Ross. Afternoon and welcome back to the program. If TikTok lets it through. Joey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, brother. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. We're pondering Ron DeSantis because he has now been personally handpicked by a bunch of Michigan Republicans that flew down there and gave a man a letter and asked him to run. Do you think Ron DeSantis would enter the race? You think he's going to actually give it a go?
Shoot, he gonna jump in with both feet in.
Wow. But will he survive the Donald?
I think not. I think not. Well, cause see, the old Donald, he gonna try to destroy Ron DeSantis because he see that they're gonna be his rival, for the spare moment. Because we see how he did last time when he first run, and all the Republicans that ran with him. He's kind of deep.
How do you? Okay, because I tend to agree with you that Trump is going to go after him both barrels blasting. But remember, Trump has already tested the waters with the Ron DeSanctimonious comment, and that did not go well within his own constituents. So, can we be sure Trump would be able to take him out?
Well, we got to remember, Trump got a lot of goodies in his bag, so he can come out with something else, and that can destroy him. Because we got to remember, Trump got a lot of things on these people, a lot of things.
But also, you don't think Ron DeSantis? I mean, there's a lot of issues with Trump's past as well. I mean, Trump has really attacked and hurt a lot of folks that a lot of Republicans favor. So, I mean, it's not like Ron DeSantis is walking around with an empty gun either.
No, Trump, Ron DeSantis he probably don't have an empty gun, but he probably don't have much as Trump got on him. And so, because if Trump survived this long, well, all the stuff that Trump do have on his own self, what we think about Ron DeSantis, how Ron DeSantis is going to handle that? Because see, Trump, he'll come out and tell you the truth, and then at the last minute, don't give a crap about it. And other people say, yeah, he was right about that.
So let me ask you: did you support Trump in the last election?
No. I ready for that good brother to go ahead and get up out of there. Because a lot of people don't understand. I voted for him the first time, and that was back in I think with 2016.
Right.
And Trump, because him being new and fresh, and not within the politician realm at the time he said he's going to drain the swamp. Because I was looking for him to drain the swamp, but when I seen he brought all them other people with him, I said, "Dang, this brother brought the swamp with him." Good God.
All right, but let me okay, because I get this. I guess that's probably going to answer the question I want to ask you. But I was going to ask, after 4 years of Trump, good economy, the jobs numbers, the unemployment rate, we all talked about the $2 gas. Why would you vote against him after doing all that?
This is because it's national rhetoric. I wish the brother would just shut up and just run the country, within the way, because he has some excellent policies out there. Some of the things he probably done flip flop on. When he said that Mexico would pay for the wall, it wasn't Mexicans, it was Americans who ended up paying for most of it. I was looking at certain promises, because he kept certain promises. Certain promises made, promises kept. But certain of the things I know it was just media rhetoric. He was saying these things to get people on his side who have certain type of angst about them within their own hearts or personalities. However, I was kind of avoiding that type of part, because I'm saying, let me see what this dude's going to do for his first 4 years. Because that's what I was looking at. And then when I started seeing a lot of people being kind of hateful, within that realm in that time when he was president, I was like, dang, even at my own job.
So I gotta move it on, but before I do, so you do buy into the FBI's claim that Trump's rhetoric was leading to hate and things like that?
Of course, because I see them. I see it in my own field. I'm in in the government myself, so it's. I seen a lot of things in my own field, and I seen a lot of people was open with their words. And when I say
Wow.
words, I mean it's
Like,
what
yeah,
they
I know exactly what you mean. All right, I gotta move it on, Joe. I gotta move it on, but I know exactly what you mean. Come on back
yeah.
through anytime, man.
All right, brother. I appreciate you.
Absolutely, good talk. All right, looking in the Nixon was better than Biden is. I don't know if you can compare two presidents that are that far apart. Most folks who are alive nowadays that are under 70 don't know a lot about Nixon. When did Nixon leave office? In the early 70s? Shit, I'm 50 and I don't know a damn thing about Nixon in terms of, I guess I was alive. No, I don't know. When did Ford take over? So yeah, comparing Nixon and Biden is going to be kind of difficult. Mexico never paid for the wall. Truth, America taxpayers paid, and now Texas people are paying, says A-Rod. And that's what the last caller was just stating there. But before that, Terry Andermolen says that guest was an idiot. Listen, folks, I always make it clear, regardless if I disagree or agree, I value your opinion, your First Amendment free speech rights just as much as my own, which is why I make the solemn promise I do not ban, block, or censor anyone for their commentary. Going back to the box. It is Farlow 20. Good afternoon, Farlow. TikTok's a little slow. Name the case that was caused by Trump. I don't get that. Farlow, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good to have you on. So what do you think? You think DeSantis is going to enter the fray?
I think he is, but he shouldn't. He should just wait.
Why? So you think he should wait to 28 or 32 or something like that?
Yeah, because when he ran the first time, there was like almost 20 Republicans running with him, and he outlasted him.
17. Yeah, 17. 17
right.
17 Republicans in 2016, 22 Democrats in 2020. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But Ron DeSantis is going to beat him. I think that he's a younger version of Trump, but he's just smarter with his rhetoric.
No, I'm saying, do you think that Trump is a better candidate than DeSantis?
Oh, he's better now as far as his rhetoric. Look what he's been saying now. He's more like, even his speech to announce, he wasn't as abrasive as he first was when he first was running. It was kind of boring watching him. So I was like, somebody's coaching him.
Trump being coached. Now that's like right. Trying to herd a whole field full of cats. So
I know, but watch the speech. You'll see what I'm talking about. Watch the first speech, and then watch that one. You'll be like, okay, this is it's different. I don't know if he's going to win though, but whoever runs, I think someone's going to run on the other side against Biden because Biden is getting tore up right now with these documents.
I believe that. I certainly believe Biden.
Because remember, last time I was on. Last time I was on, I told you if they link those documents to Hunter, it's over for him. And there's some speculation that those documents were from Ukraine at the time of when his son was older. I said, oh man, I think this is coming from his side. I don't think the Republicans are even doing this. I think they wanted Biden out and they're turning on him. Even if you watch the news, they're starting to turn on him too.
Well, make no mistake about it. Unlike the Trump side of the aisle, you don't hear Democrats suggesting that Biden's some phenomenal president. So if they do catch up to Biden on any level, the Democrats would happily put in some other candidate, say Gavin Newsom or somebody. It's the Republicans. 100%. Like, for instance, look at how the liberals are responding to Trump or better yet, Biden being caught with documents versus how the right responded to Trump being caught with documents. The Trump side was saying the whole thing was a damn witch hunt. The left is saying, well, it's not as bad as Trump, but they're not exonerating the guy. Whereas on the right, Trump is not guilty. He thought the documents were declassified, therefore they were. Everything you guys are doing is unnecessary and wrong. The left is not saying that.
Exactly. And what they don't know is, yes, the vice president can declassify documents if he classified them. But if he's in possession of documents that he did not classify, then he's in trouble.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
in trouble then. Because he can't declassify documents that he hasn't classified. You can't have
yeah,
those. You can't.
but do you believe that Biden is totally innocent in that?
No, because the place where they found him, if you remember this, when Biden went to Ukraine and they were trying to prosecute Hunter then, he
Right.
told the prosecutor, you better fire this guy. The guy that was on stage with him, that's where they found the documents, at that guy's office.
So you
I
think
forgot the
somebody
guy's
set him
name.
up?
No, I think they were covering it up and they forgot those documents were there.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
they forgot the documents were there.
yeah, it definitely appears, considering that they knew they had classified documents as early November, before the midterms, and it's just coming out now. The idea that there's a cover up seems to be fairly apparent. So
Because
I'm not going to
this is the thing.
exonerate Biden at all. Even
Yeah,
if he innocently had the documents, the fact that he did not make it public and they were trying to keep it as a, on a hush hush, there's no escaping that. That happened.
yeah, that plus this is the important part. When you get classified documents, you have to request them, which means he requested those documents. Period. There is no getting around that part of it. So this is bad. You can't say,
Yeah.
"Well, I didn't know I had them, sir." You have to request them to have them. No, there is no, "I didn't know I had them." Yet now
So
they were still there. That may be a surprise. Maybe he thought, they were taken back to where they're supposed to be. But when you link it to the guy that was on stage with you in Ukraine, and it's like, it's your think tank is where they were. Okay, you were doing something back then you didn't want nobody to know about, and you
yeah.
left the documents there.
Yeah,
You
it
forgot.
looks bad. It looks bad. I want to ask you this
It
before I
does.
move it on. Though, now, did you support Trump in both of his runs, 16 and 20, or did you not support him at all?
No, I'm a libertarian. I voted for the libertarian both times.
Oh, so
Johnson
you
the
didn't
first
vote.
time, and Joe Jergens the second. Yeah,
And who?
I'm neutral.
I think, yeah, we talked, because I told you you throwing away votes. At the end of the day, you don't come around to the right. Most
That's what
libertarians.
people say. That's a straw man. That's a straw man argument with the libertarians. But look, people complain about who's running in the presidents all the time, and they keep forgetting there is a third option. If you don't want to vote
Yeah.
for either, vote for the third option. That's
Well,
how we win.
fair enough. I got to move it on, but
Don't vote for
my
the lesser
guess
of two
is
evils.
your best chance would be to go dig up Ross Perot, but I gotta move it on, man. Appreciate you coming through.
I agree with you 100%. He was our best. That was like the best independent run ever.
Yep.
And that's why they changed the rule. That's why they changed the rule.
Yep. I gotta go. Yes. Libertarians keep killing Republican chances. You know something? I don't know. What does that say? Mississippi. Remember Joe the Plumber, 2007, the Tea Party, and how they were giving Obama hell. They were doing pretty good with that. And most likely all of the Tea Party from 2007 did vote Republican. So I don't know if the Libertarians always split the ticket, but I do agree, Mississippi, that does happen a lot. We're all stupid for voting for 80-year-olds. That's why docs get lost. I don't believe that docs are being misplaced because the candidates are 80 years old. The docs are being misplaced because the way they track the documents apparently is flawed. Even if an 80-year-old did, misplace something, somebody else, if the process was done right, somebody else should be alerted to the fact that that document is not where it belongs. The fact that he could have some shit in his garage since 2017 shows something is wrong with the process. They need to have a better way of tracking classified materials. Because according to him, talking about Biden, he didn't even know he had the stuff. I actually believe that, but that doesn't exonerate him from guilt. Whether you know you have it or not, if it's in your possession, you are responsible for having something that you didn't supposed to have. So I believe that he violated, possessing something he wasn't supposed to possess. But that is what we have to question. How can he do that for so long without it drawing some attention? The National Archives, or whatever the case may be, was all over President Trump. They knew he had some shit. Now, is it that Trump had stuff that was far more serious than Biden? Probably so. But they still should have knew that Biden had that. It was up to Biden to actually find it, notify them he had it, and turn it in. All right, moving on to DJ Fly Guy. And Rainey, I see you in there. DJ Fly Guy, friend program. Republicans seriously embarrassing. How so, Kurt? Fly Guy, good afternoon.
What's up, man? What's going on, yo?
Not much. Welcome back to the program. Ron DeSantis, Michigan Republicans, a bunch of prominent Michigan Republicans signed a letter asking DeSantis to enter the fray and literally flew it down to Florida and gave it to him personally. Do you think he's going to get into the election?
They asked him to run for president?
They wrote up a letter, said he is the most qualified and all of that. They signed it and had one of their representatives fly down to Florida and give it to him directly, asking him to enter the 2024 election. Do you think he's going to do that?
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know where he stands. I mean, you know, being what is he, governor of Florida?
Yeah.
He's
not only governor of Florida. He is widely favored among Republicans. The Republican Party loves the guy. He's a rock star. Did I get you in a bad time?
Say that again. Say it one more time.
Okay, I'm just asking you. What do you think in regards to this situation?
Our current situation is this, man. We are being misled and lied to by everybody that wants to think, by everybody that wants to say the economy is doing terrible. But all I see is people building up around here. I see people making more money than they ever made. I still see people shopping. I still see people going around here taking care of their families. What they want us to believe that the current
the president himself is suggesting that the economy is not doing good.
Yeah, it's not as well as it could be, or I mean, we are bouncing back from a pandemic. We are bouncing back from a whole lot of chaos that Republicans have caused, that conservatives have caused in this country. And one thing I am tired of hearing Donald Trump get the credit for what Barack Obama did for his 8 years. That man fought to get this country back on its feet. That man fought.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Hold on, Fly Guy. Let me interrupt. I get your point that Trump inherited a good economy from Obama. I actually agree with that. But the economy did not falter under Trump. He could have ruined it. The fact that he maintained the economy and in some areas actually made it better, you don't give him any credit at all?
No, because it was only 2 years. It was only 2 years. And what was he gonna do? What was he gonna do in 2 years that would have made a difference, that would have made such a difference to where the American people noticed? The only thing that happened that was good up under Trump was there was actually two things, but they don't even talk about the good stuff. They just want to give him the credit from what Obama did. But there was two good things that he done. When he first came into office, all the businesses, all the stocks, all that stuff, they knew he was a business guy. They thought he was, they knew he was going to invest in businesses and companies and all that stuff. So all of them was excited for that. Yeah, that helped move along a lot of businesses and a lot of companies. Yes, that did help us a lot.
Okay,
and
well,
another good thing that he did, and a lot of people don't even.
Okay, well, in the comments, Stevie D does ask hold on. Stevie D asked a legitimate question. He basically says, what does any of this have to do with whether DeSantis is running for president? Suggesting you have Trump derangement syndrome. I'm not going to go into the derangement syndrome, but we were talking about DeSantis. So you don't think DeSantis is going to get in the game at all?
Yeah, see, they don't want to hear the truth.
Yeah, but it's not I know. It may be the truth. It's not the topic. I'm not saying whether what you're saying is true or false. It's not the actual topic. That's what they're talking about.
But I done sat right here through. I done sat here through like three or four of your guests that was not talking about DeSantis. I didn't even know what you was. I didn't even know what the topic was. But I done heard about three or four guests.
Okay, so you don't have
wasn't
any
even on this topic.
Okay, so you don't have any opinion on whether DeSantis is going to get in or not, though, right?
Look, I hope he don't. I hope he don't run.
Why not?
Because listen, because of the simple fact of this, none of them got enough balls to call Donald Trump out. None of them got enough balls to call out Republicans that are destroying this country. None of them got enough balls to stand up to people that are actually wrong. When you're wrong, you're wrong. And none of them got enough balls to even do that.
And you're not the only
is
one.
Nothing but another damn.
Yeah, you're not the only one that's making that statement. But before I'm moving on, I would have to ask you this in regards to the notion that Republicans are destroying the country. Minus January 6th in the 2020 election, give me some examples of how you believe the Republicans are destroying the country.
Because they're still supporting things that will destroy, us as a people.
Give me an example.
Just letting the country burn.
Give me something. You said they're supporting things. Give me an example of what qualifies as a thing.
Taking away women's rights. You can't tell a woman what to do with her body.
Yeah, I am 100%. I'm 100% pro-choice. But if you ban abortion, you think that will destroy the country?
Yes. Yeah, because you're making women, you're forcing women to make decisions about their careers. You're forcing people to make decisions. We all know, having an effect on a person's mental state is one of the worst things in this country.
Yeah.
We're going through times where mental health is the most important thing out here. And telling a woman that she don't have a right to do with her body is a mental thing.
Yeah, I'm no fan of it. I'm no fan of it either.
I read something in one of the comments that was another problem, but it's gone now, and I can't refer back. But
all right, Flag Guy, you know what we gotta do. Man. All right, appreciate you coming through. Go ahead, I'll let you wrap it up. Okay, I don't know. Apparently we had a delay or something, but looking in the comments, that's are destroying the country by making it okay for kids transgender and going green. I did a video the other day. By the way, folks, tap the screen. This is a MAGA-friendly program. I do not block, ban, or censor. However, liberals are certainly welcome as well. MAGA just happens to be my preferred guest. But tap the screen. Get your boy up to 10,000 likes. I appreciate the participation. In regards to Democrats destroying the country by making it okay for kids to be transgender, I'm hearing that on a lot of lives. However, I don't know of any examples of that. When we say a kid, think about the age group, I guess you'd say the frame of age, between birth and whatever age you consider on the other end. That denotes what a kid is. You wouldn't look at an 18-year-old and say that's a kid, unless you're watching a game or something. You would normally not refer to an 18-year-old as a kid. So when we say the Democrats are destroying America by allowing kids to be transgender, I don't know of any real-world examples of that happening. A kid to me is a 10, 12-year-old, maybe a 5-year-old. I don't know of anyone in that age group that's ever had some form of an operation to change their gender. So until I see that, in my opinion, that is a divisive right-wing talking point. Not to say it hasn't happened, but I'm going to go on record and say I've never seen that before. I've only heard that in anti-LGBT conversations. Very similar in the pro-choice, pro-life debates when you hear somebody say, I don't want a woman to be on her 10th abortion. I've never heard of that. I'm only hearing this stuff in these conversations that go against, the liberal side of the aisle and stuff. I've never heard of a woman having an abortion 10 times or a baby being unalived, considered as an abortion 30 days after it's out the womb. I've had right-wingers come on the program and suggest that Democrats want to allow abortion up to 30 days past birth. I've never heard of this shit, but I hear it in these conversations. All right, going back to the box. I was looking for Rainey. Rainey was next. I guess she dropped out. We'll go and keep it moving. Awake 2023. For some reason, I do apologize in the holding queue. TikTok really moves the names around, so I try to remember what order you're in, because next time I come on, they change the damn order. So it's not like I'm skipping over folks. The TikTok gods is doing this shit against my will. All right, looking at Awake. Good afternoon, sir. Ron DeSantis. I'm doing good. Ron DeSantis 2024. You think that's going to happen?
I see it more and more as a possibility as the coming weeks and coming months, for sure. But see, the thing is that I know the Republicans, they have something up their sleeve. They're doing something behind the curtains. They're banding together, and I'm not sure what they're going to do, but they do have something that they have in the mix. I'm not sure yet. I can't really put my finger on it. But I do see DeSantis running.
After the midterms, and when you look at what happened with Kevin McCarthy trying to become Speaker of the House, you see Republicans as banding together?
Honestly, what happened during this last House Speaker debates and stuff, that actually had to happen, because what happened is that Matt Gaetz and all those, they sat there and they made sure that McCarthy made his promises to what he was going to do. He had to make those certain stipulations in order for them to vote, because they would have stood their ground until the end of the day. And yeah. What it did is it did bring us together. It did bring them together, because they came to a certain understanding. Mark McCarthy realized, okay, this is what my party wants. This is what the American people want. Well, as far as the right, and to make things better. I mean, they don't have bad outlooks. They need to reform things a little bit and then come together. But what that did is it did band us together a little.
Okay, so you believe the Republican Party is banned. How do you feel about Santos up in New York? This guy has told a lie about every damn thing under the sun. McCarthy is standing up and suggesting this guy, they're gonna keep him there. That's banding together. How do you view that?
I don't like that Santos guy at all. I don't think that it's a good idea to keep him. I think that's one of the stupid choices they're making at this particular time. Yes, I would definitely out that dude right away.
Okay, fair enough. So a bunch of Michigan Republicans flying to Florida and asking DeSantis to run, even though President Trump, the last Republican leader, is on the ticket already. Do you see that as Republicans band together when you got a group from one state want to find another guy who's not even on the ticket and asking him to get on there, with Trump already suggesting he wants the job?
Well, the thing is with that is that they've wanted DeSantis to do it since 2020. They were talking about it, and I don't see DeSantis being the best candidate, but DeSantis he does have a good mindset and he does have good policy, and I think that with those guys doing that, they're kind of like, okay, well, why don't we put DeSantis on the ballot or try to, and just see if we can't get him to run, because he does have a good head on his shoulders. He does have the right view. So, I mean, I don't see it as a negative thing.
But when you say, do you believe Trump is a better candidate than DeSantis?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Yes. Not as a person, but as a president, 100%.
What about Trump as a candidate? Not a person, because you excluded person. What about Trump as a candidate do you favor over DeSantis? Because many would suggest you're going to get the same policies.
Yeah, well, my favoritism on Trump is that he is one of those candidates that cannot be bought. He's one of those candidates that has his own. I mean, yes, he has taken money for stuff, but I mean, like he's not going to back down. he's not going to say, no, I believe you're right. Let's just do what you want to do. No, he's going to look at seriously, American first policy. It may not be what everyone likes, but inevitably it's going to help our country. And he's not going to back down from that.
I want to run. This is a bit off topic, but it was in regards to the rant I had before you got on here. I want to ask you this because Demetrius Duffy in the comments said most LGBT members are Republican. Do you see it that way?
Actually, I see. The thing is with the LGBT community. Okay, I'm not. I don't believe in all the stuff that they say. But you want to, it's their body, their choice. When they're 18, yeah, do whatever you want. But there is a lot of Republicans that I've come to know and learn that a lot of them are in the LGBT community. And they're like I said before in one of your lives before, they're pitting us against each other. They're using that as a tool to divide the parties. They're trying to make it seem like, because the people on the left, they're a little more in their feelings about things. They're a little more like, I'm not saying the right's not, but they're like, when it comes to the LGBT community, they're very passionate. You know, they push their agenda really hard.
Yeah, they're fighting for civil rights for them. Of course they're going to be passionate.
But that's on both sides.
You think the folks on the right are fighting for civil rights for the LGBT community?
I think that the folks on the right-hand side that are LGBTQ are fighting for it, yes. Because there's a lot more than everyone says. Because I could name off 100 people that I know that are pro right, and they're heavily, you know, like advocating for the LGBT community, and they are right wingers, and that they're trying to get other people to band together. And that's the thing. Like I said,
hold on. I don't mean, I'm not laughing at you, but in the comments, I'm paying attention to what you're saying. But in the comments, somebody put a comment up. I want to run by you. Be the Goat said Republicans date trans people. Have you heard of anything like that?
Republicans dating trans people? I mean, if you want to diminish it to that, yes, they do. But so do people on the left. They're putting these people in a category to separatize them from everything. And I'm so sick and tired of them using this bullshit and putting us against each other. That's what they're doing. It's all about division, no matter what side you're on. And it's a great answer. That has to stop.
Yeah, that's a really good answer. But let me ask you this. Maybe I'm seeing this wrong. I got to move it on, but I'll give you the last word on this. I watch a lot of media from both sides of the aisle, and I will tell you this. Anytime I hear anything about the LGBT community on a right-wing network, it's something negative. They want to go in our bathrooms. They want to play for the wrong team. They're pushing something on my kids my kid does not need to know. I don't hear anything positive at all in right-wing circles about the LGBT community. Am I missing something?
Well, I consider you a pretty smart man, and you got to look at it one of two ways. The left uses our we don't want them to indoctrinate our kids. Okay, they're talking about, you know, asking our kids that when they're in fourth grade if they want to be a man or a woman. That is unacceptable. I don't care who you are. Okay, a kid doesn't just go around and say, "Oh, I want to be a girl if I'm a boy, or I want to be a boy." It's put into their head. Any normal kid is not going to say, "Oh, I want to be the opposite."
I can't speak on that. I don't know. Keep going.
Well, I've seen him. I have a niece that wants to be a boy. She wants to have the operation and everything, but she's of age. She's over 18. She didn't really want to do that part of it until after she heard about it. But she was a tomboy her whole life and everything. And I'm not against the community. I'm not. Your body, your choice. When you're 18.
Let me interrupt you. And by the way, Cornstar, thank you for the hat and mustache. Yeehaw! Let me ask you this in regards to your niece. She's 18, wants to have an operation. I would be curious, and you could ask your niece. Ask her what age did she know she felt like the other gender? Because just because she cannot have the operation until she reaches adulthood does not mean she didn't know. Because we all know at some age when we are attracted to the opposite sex, and it is far before we ever become 18 years of age. So I'd be curious. Ask her what age did she know she was trapped inside the wrong body?
Well, it wasn't that she was trapped inside the wrong body. It was that she was attracted to the same sex. And that was about when she was 12 or 13 years old.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you could be a lesbian, but you could be because that's essentially gay. If you're not trapped inside of if you don't feel like you're trapped inside the wrong body and you want to date the same sex, then you're gay. You don't need to have an operation in that case. When you start talking about transgender, you feel like you identify as something else.
And that's the part that I don't understand. I'm not against it. I'm not going to hate on it, but I don't understand the feeling that you're in the wrong body. That's a product of your environment. That's all I could see it being, like feasible. And I'm not, like, again, I'm not bashing them, but I mean, it's all about your surroundings and how you grow up and what you're around. But yeah,
it's controversial.
You talk about something.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it is. Well, you were saying, or your last guest was talking about, like, what was it about how Trump and Obama did all that stuff. But I'm gonna let you get to the next box. But I'm gonna come back again for your next live. I got some stuff to talk to you about, but I'll let you move on, man.
You're always welcome back. Anytime, Awake. Good talk. Come on back to anytime. By the way, folks, as always, whether you agree or disagree with the host never means a damn thing. This is a MAGA-friendly program. I give that spiel all throughout any live. Tap the screen. Get your boy up to 15,000 likes, 300 plus of us in here. I appreciate the fact you guys are showing your boy some love. You could be anywhere you want to be on social media. The fact that you are here is an honor. Going to the comments. Tim, the left will put money behind DeSantis to create a bloodbath. NGA Brill Coleman, I agree with that. I certainly believe that the longer the folks on the left can keep Trump involved in an inter-party fight, the better it is for folks on the left. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who emerges at the top of the Republican ticket, whether it's Trump or DeSantis. If they fight long enough, somebody is going to emerge looking like Rocky after winning the fight. Rocky won most of his fights, but he looked like shit at the end of the fight. So that would make it easier for Biden, Gavin Newsom, or whoever the hell leads the Democratic ticket. So, yeah, I can see that happening. Looking in the comments before we go back to the box. If DeSantis is smart, he will stay out one round. That, there's some legitimacy to that because DeSantis is a young guy. I've said it before. He could easily wait till 2028 or 2032 because at that point, he don't have to deal with the likes of Trump. And his path to the top of the ticket might be easier. However, there are some folks on the right and certainly some folks on the left that believe another round of unobstructed Trump will set the Republican Party back so far that in 2028, nobody will even want to hear from DeSantis. So there is a two-sided coin there. MAGA built back better. How about give back to Americans? What president is going to do that? All right, let's make it happen with none other than Army Vet. Good afternoon, Army Vet.
What's going on?
Not much. Good to have you back. DeSantis in 2024. Can you see it happening?
I can see it happening. I don't see him winning, though.
You think Trump would beat him?
No, I mean, I don't. I see Biden beating him, or anybody on the left would beat DeSantis. One thing DeSantis has going for him is that he would probably lock down Florida for the Republicans in 2024, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to be out, not even something to discuss for Democrats. But the way Arizona has gone, the way that Georgia has gone, and DeSantis, he's Trump-like, but a little more intelligent. But his whole assault on liberals, this fake CRT argument, would hurt him across the nation. I think the whole thing that he did with Governor Abbott busing immigrants who were actually here legally to Democratic states would hurt him as well.
So while you're naming off the flaws of DeSantis, let me ask you this. If it came in the primary, before the general election, and it was Trump versus DeSantis to see who reached the top of the ticket. Do you think he could beat Trump?
No, because Trump has that hardcore 30% of the base, and those are usually your primary voters. And
I
so
agree.
I think though that 30% would get Trump back into the general election, in which he would then lose to whoever's on the Democratic side. So DeSantis has to figure out how to chip into that 30% of the base. And he would definitely have to hope that nobody else got into the primary. If it's just him and Trump, DeSantis has a shot. But if there's 4, 5, or 6 different Republicans, then of course Trump's going to win that easily.
Okay. So you strongly believe Biden could easily trounce DeSantis, but let's say we go your route. Trump beats DeSantis and it becomes a Trump-Biden rematch. Do you think Trump could prevail on a second go-round?
No, because the suburbs in a lot of the now toss-up states just don't want nothing to do with Trump. That's his problem. He's going to get his hardcore Republicans, right? There are people that say on both sides, I'm not voting outside my party no matter what. So Republicans are going to go for him no matter what. It's the independents that Trump has lost. The independents don't want Trump.
Yeah, but do you think Biden has lost any of his supporters since he became president with the economy and things like that? You think Biden has kept all of his supporters?
It doesn't matter, right? People voted for Biden. I voted for Biden, but it wasn't because I have some affinity towards Biden. It was a rejection of Trump, right? I'd rather have had somebody else than Biden, but since he was the nominee, I don't want Trump. And that's what Trump would go up against. People don't want Biden, but they definitely don't want Trump. So if it's Biden or Trump, they're going to go with Biden. You see what I'm saying?
But let me ask it to you this way. Is it possible that there were folks like yourself that voted against Trump because of the tweets, the rhetoric, and division, got Biden in office, saw the economy tank, and suggested that I'd rather deal with the tweets, the insulting, and the rhetoric as opposed to the current economy, and want to go back to Trump? Do you see anybody being like that?
So let's look at facts, right? One, the economy is not bad. Inflation is up, and inflation has come down. Inflation last year, I think, was around 9.2%. It's down to like 7-something now, I believe. So the economy is getting better. The economy issues are usually temporary. What Trump would do to this country could be far-reaching besides just temporary.
Elaborate. What do you mean? What do you think he could do? What do you think he could do to this country as you see it's far-reaching besides temporary?
Well, one, the racial divisions that exploded under Trump could be far-reaching. The national security implications from Trump and him cozying up to authoritarianism around the world, those type of things can have far-reaching ramifications on this country besides eggs being a little too high right now, right? But people don't want to look at the economy. Well, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? We can sit here and say because of Biden's inflation that eggs are high, right? But let's look at it and be truthful about it. The avian flu has a big part of it. When you have 43 million egg-producing chickens that had to be killed, is going to affect it. Then you have companies all the way down the supply chain that says we lost X amount of dollars and we want to recoup that. So even though prices are going down on our end, we're going to keep it high for the consumer until we recoup our losses. That's what happened with gas. That's what's happening with eggs and other parts of the grocery supply chain. So everybody's recouping their losses at the expense of the people, but everybody want to blame Biden for that. And that's because people don't truly understand economics.
Well, regardless of whether they understand economics or not, I will say this, and I've said it on many a live. When you are the coach of the team, you're responsible. If that team wins or loses, you don't get to blame the quarterback or blame the catcher or somebody else for their mistakes. If you're the coach, whatever, because you're the one they're going to pour Gatorade on. Like, for instance, folks are suggesting that you can't blame Biden for inflation rising globally. Well, if the inflation went down, guess who would be taking credit for it? Like in June, in this country, the gas prices started going down. When they were going up, both Biden and Kamala were saying this is something that's happening globally. When gas prices started going down in June, they didn't say that was happening globally. They got on television and took credit for it. So the point I'm just simply saying is, whether it's your fault or not, when you are in power, what happens under your watch is going to get blamed on you.
Absolutely. But let's take it from another analogy, right? I'm the quarterback of the team, right? I throw 15 interceptions, they're going to blame the season on me, right? If I throw,
but the coach may get fired when you do that.
Right. So that same quarterback, now all of a sudden he throws no interceptions and 15 touchdowns. If I took the blame, don't I get to take the credit?
Yeah, but you're the quarterback. I'm talking about the coach, though. Same
thing with the coach, right? Same thing with the coach. If the coach leave the quarterback in that's throwing all these interceptions, then yes, it's his fault, right? But don't he also then get to turn around and take credit when the quarterback then turns around and throw a bunch of touchdowns and win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think, but that's what I'm saying. I think you're making my point for me is that you.
No, I'm not disagreeing with your point. I'm not disagreeing with your point, right? I'm just saying we have to look at it from all standpoints, right? If the right can sit up here and blame Biden for high prices, then Biden then gets to turn around and say, okay, if I take this, I know why it's that way. If I can take it, then I'm going to take credit when it does good.
100% agree. I totally understand. I got to move it on, but I will tell you this. Sir. On my program, I've been around for about a year now. Folks were saying that I was so critical of liberals because the gas prices were where they were, that they were saying, well, you're actually a Republican in hiding. And then when the gas prices started dropping around June, I did start crediting Biden to the point where a lot of my MAGA supporters started saying, well, you're starting to go too far to the left. No, I'm actually giving credit to the current administration. When things are bad, I blame the administration. When things are good, I give them credit. So I do agree with you. The fluctuation. Go ahead.
Final thought is people need to look at everything like a pendulum. Sometimes it's going to swing right, and then it's going to come back and swing left, right? So Republicans that say you're too much of a liberal, and liberals saying you're too conservative, they don't understand the pendulum effect. You know what I'm saying? Each side is going to affect the middle. You see what I'm saying? The middle almost stays centered.
Totally agree.
Is being affected by the other way. So people just need to get off their soapbox, rather left or right, and understand that it's going to swing both ways, and we all need to find a way to exist within it.
Well said, Army vet. Appreciate you coming through.
Catch
you
next time.
You too. All right. That's false. You think Trump had a good economy? He didn't at all. Fidel Castro. We've talked before. There's no denying. If you look back, when did Trump get inaugurated? January of 2017. Look at the price of fuel a year after Trump was in office. You're going to tell me that was not good? You're going to tell me the inflation rates a year or two after Trump was in office were not good? The pandemic, obviously, Trump did not handle that well. Even a lot of folks on the right believe that Trump did not handle COVID and the pandemic well. But leading up to the pandemic, let's say when did the first cases start happening? November of 2019. If you go to October of 2019 and look at the American economy, it was flourishing. So there's no way I'm going to pretend like Trump deserves zero credit. Did he inherit a good economy from President Obama? Yes, he did. But it was doing quite well halfway into his term before COVID took place. So I think it's disingenuous to not give the man any credit at all. Looking in the box, handsome. Put a blue hat on that interview. You can put me in a hat and mustache. Make it blue. All right. Going back to the box. My name is Kitten. It is indeed. Good afternoon. Name is Kitten. Working Americans will always feel the effects. No break at all. I agree with that 100%. Kitten. Good afternoon.
What's going on, handsome liberal? How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Good to hear from you again. I'm in the trenches. DeSantis, 2024. Is that possible?
I mean, it's possible. I think he'd be smarter not to run if Trump is in the running, because I think Trump will make him look like a real cuck. And in order to be favorable In order to be favorable with Republicans, you don't need to be a strong man, but you need to portray the image of a strong man. So if you lose that image, you're going to lose favor with the base.
Yeah, but right now, the Republicans see DeSantis as a strong man. You telling me, right? Simply Trump getting into a spat with Trump alone would make him come out looking weak?
Oh, yeah, because, Trump is the master dethroner, right? He dethroned Jeb.
Yeah.
He dethroned Rand Paul, and, he dethroned all those people. So, yeah, he will. He'll make him look like a cuck, and then he won't have anything to stand on anymore.
But I will say this. When he took down Jeb Bush, who was expected to be the Republican nominee, low-energy Jeb had a ring to it. Ron DeSantis has not had the same ring. So the same attacks, because when they asked Trump, I believe a few days ago, they asked him, how would he respond to Ron DeSantis entering the race? And he said, I will handle it like I always have, which kind of sounded like, something straight out of the mafia. But Ron DeSantis did not go as well. So do you believe the same tactics he's used to take down other folks would work on Ron?
Sure. I mean, you have to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks, right? I mean, DeSantis' whole image is built on Trump's personality, right? Like, Ron DeSantis is not a strong man. And before Trump, he had no personality of his own, right?
I have heard that. Yeah, I've heard that.
Before, when he was in office, before he was governor, he tried to pass 52 different pieces of legislation in the position he was in. None of them even got through. The dude is extremely weak, He's appealing to the whole, like your last guest said, the fake CRT, the fake culture wars. The Republican base loves that red meat. You know what I mean?
Well, if what you're saying is true, then there's no one else that can be at the top of the ticket other than Trump. I mean, who else could possibly give him any kind of competition on the right side of the aisle?
I don't see very many good candidates on either side right now, to be honest with you. People that are running right now, I'm not very excited about anybody. I mean, I'm with your last guest as far as Biden goes. I voted for Biden because, Trump is a fascist, and I don't need a fascist in government. So I voted for Biden because the corporatist is always better than a fascist.
You got to elaborate on that. What makes you suggest that Trump is a fascist? Damn.
I mean, Congress already showed that I don't know why people are acting like he's not. Congress already showed that his entire administration, consorted with Nazis to pull off January 6th. I'm not going to sit here and act like he's some sort of innocent man who hasn't confessed already. Whether he was charged or not, he has confessed publicly to various crimes. I'm not going to pretend that didn't happen, like these people in chat who want to be like, well, the guy was never convicted. The guy was never convicted. Well, if I'm on Twitter and I'm on national news saying, yeah, I did these things, I'm confessing, regardless of whether you're convicted or not.
Yeah. I mean, we could always write a book like OJ if I did it, if I was responsible for an insurrection or whatever the case may be. Wow. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just can't. In regards to Trump being responsible for January 6th, yeah, it would not have happened without him. However, is there any chance he ever will be convicted of anything in relation to January 6th?
No, because again, did it destroy any people who are richer or more powerful than him? No.
You made that point before. I do remember you making that point before.
Yeah, and the answer to that is no. Everybody who that affected is beneath or below in position to Trump and below in wealth to Trump. So no, he's not going to get in any trouble for anything he did.
So does that also apply to the Merrick Garland pursuit with the classified documents in Mar-a-Lago? We obviously know Biden now has his own troubles, but in regards to them doing an actual search warrant on Trump's home and things like that, will anything come out of that?
No, I'm actually glad that Republicans prevented Merrick Garland from becoming a justice, because now I see just how weak he actually is and how he can't get the job done.
I didn't even think of it that way.
He can't get it done. So you know what? Thank you, Republicans, for being a bunch of numbskulls who denied Obama's nomination, because the dude turned out to be extremely weak. So thanks for that, guys. Appreciate
I don't know if I would. Wait a minute. I don't know if I would thank him for that, because if Obama had got a chance to appoint Merrick Garland, Do you think where we're at with abortion, we would still be in this scenario right now?
I mean, you'd be in this scenario no matter what, because you pissed off a bunch of Republicans who hated the fact that a black man became president, and they want to see the worst ever in office so that they can, again, Trump is not there because they actually care about the economy or they care about inflation or they care about any of that. Republicans care about cutting taxes for the rich and eliminating social programs for the middle class. That's their entire agenda. That's it.
Well, if what you're saying is true, here's one of the things I do not get, because when you look at the Bible Belt states in this country, those are some of the poorest states in the Union. So why would those folks in Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, some of the poorest folks in the country, why would they be in favor of cutting taxes for the wealthy when most of them are not?
I mean, go listen to some of the interviews with these people on major news networks or any news network organization. These are not well-versed people in politics. You know what I mean? These are people who believe that a person who hates the same people they hate will also carry out financial, political policies that are to their benefit. They're more worried about them hating the people that they hate first and policy later. It's more important to them to discriminate.
I got a bomb comment. One last question before I move on. I want to run this by you. It's a pretty strong comment. But before I do, folks, tap the screen. Get your boy up to 20,000 likes. I do appreciate that. In the comments, I suppose this is obviously directed right at you, sir, because of your last comment. But Jilly Bean says, stop saying all Republicans are racist. It's an ignorant argument. How do you address that?
I would say that your party's going fascist and you're ignorant for staying in it. And if you don't agree with those types of policies, then you need to get out of that party and stop consorting with fascists.
All right, kitten. I got to move it on.
All right, man. Later.
Always a pleasure. All right, looking in the comments. Guess another win says, okay, fair enough. Stupid response says, just getting by. In life. Okay, damn. That's a hell of a name. I always point out the funny names, but just getting by in life. Shit. Bless your heart. Handsome liberal is great. Modest Democrat is a clown. You guys can be so harsh, but I love you all. As I say in every program, I do not ban, block, or censor anyone for their commentary. The fact that you may disagree with yours truly, the host, doesn't mean a damn thing. I'll give you plenty of time in the box to state your point. That's how we do it. In First Amendment rights, I value your opinion as much as I value my own. Going back to the box. Just let me sleep. All right, let's make majority of them. Majority of the Republican Party is racist. Is that what I'm hearing? Holy shit. Just let me sleep. Ron DeSantis 2024. Would that put you to sleep or wake you up? Just let me sleep. Are you on?
Out on my. Yes. Can you hear me?
Fair enough. Good to have you back. So, loud and clear. Ron DeSantis 2024. Would that wake you up or put you back to sleep?
That would put me back to sleep. I don't watch like the media coverage. I don't watch the news. I think it's all, well, it's either one way or the other. It's either completely right or completely left. It's never the truth. So I try to look at everything and do my own investigation, I guess, if you want to call it that, and try to decipher from the lies and what's actually true and going on.
So let me, which way do you typically lean? In Greg House, I do see your comment. I didn't notice you was there, but in regards to your political leans, do you lean left or do you tend to lean right?
I lean right.
Okay. So did you support Trump in his last two? Did you support Trump in both of his last two attempts?
I did.
Okay. So go ahead.
For the 2020 election, I kind of thought Trump was a joke. And I was like, there's no way, like, he's going to win. Like, he's not a politician. Like, what the heck is he doing? This has to be a joke.
Wait. Are you talking 16 or are you talking 20 when you thought he was a joke?
No, I'm sorry. In 2016, like when he first initially said that he was going to win or run, I'm like, no way. This is a joke. It has to be a joke. Like, who would have thought Trump was actually going to run for president? Nobody. So, yeah, I thought it was a complete joke. And I did not like Hillary at all. I do not like Hillary. I still don't like Hillary, and I would never vote for Hillary. So I voted for Trump.
All right, so you voted for Trump in 16. 4 years in office, you've seen the economy, gas prices, inflation, and things like that. On to 2020. Did you ride with him again?
I sure did.
Okay.
And the reason being is because, again, we didn't have a good candidate for the Democrats. I don't think Biden is a good candidate. I think he has Alzheimer's, to be honest, and I think he's a puppet. He's not controlling America. Like, this is Obama's for Obama. Like, Obama is running the country right now.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is every president, because I know when Obama was in office, he was a puppet for the Clintons. When Bill Clinton was in office, he was a puppet for his wife. Bush was a puppet for Dick Cheney. I don't know if I necessarily buy into the fact that these folks would rise to the highest office in essentially the world to be a puppet for someone. I think Biden is doing his own thing. I don't know if Obama was in office for a third term. To me, Biden governs in a different way than Obama.
Well, he does do some of his own things. That's just because he's crazy. But I believe Obama has a lot of say in what he does. But he's not all the way there mentally. So he kind of ventures off on his own. And that's why he sung Happy Birthday to MLK on MLK Day. Like, the guy is not right in the head.
So wait a minute, you said he's saying happy birthday to Martin Luther King on Martin Luther King Day. What's wrong with that?
Because that's not his birthday.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it is designed to honor the man's. I mean, when is his birthday? Because Martin Luther King Day is on a Monday. It's always on a Monday. So clearly his birthday moves around. But isn't that the purpose of MLK Day, is to honor his birthday?
I don't think it's to honor his birthday. I think it's to honor his life.
Okay. Well, in the comments, I see Cornstar saying January 15th is his birthday. So I do believe Martin Luther King Day is to honor the man's birthday. I do believe that. So what Biden was doing was correct.
Okay, well, he's done a lot of, even if he is correct, he's done a lot of other things that he wasn't correct with. And he just has Alzheimer's. Which is sad. I feel bad for him. And I feel bad that everyone attacks him and blames him. But really his family should have protected him and said, no, like, you don't need to run for president.
So let me run this by you then, because you said you believe he has Alzheimer's. Some folks say he has dementia. I hear folks saying he don't know where he's at. He can't string together two sentences. Yet a lot of folks on the right are wearing apparel that says FJB, or they're calling the guy Sleepy Joe Biden. If you believe an elderly person is dealing with a mental illness, wouldn't that be making fun of a mentally ill elderly person? Wouldn't that be that the right wing is currently making fun of an old man with mental illness?
I guess, yeah, it would be. But if they're saying that he doesn't have mental illness and they're making fun of him, then that's what we have to go off of. And so, as of yet, I don't believe he's been diagnosed.
But how does that look that most of the folks on the right do believe President Biden has a mental illness and they're making fun of him simultaneously? How does that look?
Probably not good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it goes both ways. People are mean.
Yeah, but that is one of the main reasons, because I've said it before, even as a liberal, I believe on paper, Trump probably deserved to have a second term. When you talk to folks, even on the right, the detractors of Trump, even Trump supporters say we would love to have $2 gas back and some mean tweets. So there's no shortage of folks who acknowledge that what cost Trump a second term was partially the fact that he was so mean. So in 2023, does it make sense that the Republican Party is still doing things that even you refer to as mean?
I think the way our country is going, it does not benefit them if he is, well, obviously he is mean. Trump is not a saint. He's not nice. He has no social grace. He doesn't know how to speak to people. We all know that. But he's not trying to hide it. But the way our country is going, everybody's so sensitive. So coming out as mean, he'd have to tone that down a lot if he wants supporters that he doesn't already have.
So how do you feel about the notion that you could get literally the same policies out of DeSantis without all of the meanness? Wouldn't that mean that DeSantis is probably a better candidate going forward than Trump?
No, because I don't think he has a backbone. And we need a leader. We need someone who has a backbone. I don't think Biden has a backbone. I don't think DeSantis has a backbone.
Give me some examples of something that DeSantis has done to lead you to believe he doesn't have a backbone.
Well, I can't give you any examples because I don't follow him. I don't know much about him, so I'm not going to speak about that. I really don't know.
Fair enough. That's fair. You don't, but which is making me wonder though. If you don't follow him, then what's making you give that comment that he doesn't have a backbone?
Just from what I do know about him, he isn't a strong candidate. He's riding on Trump's coattails.
Did you see how well he did in Florida? How many counties he won? You said he's not a strong candidate. It's not resonating based on what I've seen. He won Florida handily. How are you saying he's not a strong candidate?
Which he might have. I didn't watch what happened in Florida because I seriously do not watch any news or anything. So I have no idea what happened in Florida. Okay. I'm in Arizona and I haven't heard anything about him. So we'll see once everything happens, because once the people start campaigning and we know who's going to run, then I'll start following what's happening there.
All right, fair enough. I got to move it on, but I had to ask you because you have some pretty strong opinions about the guy, but then, like you said, you don't follow him enough. But just let me sleep. Appreciate you coming through.
All righty, and you're my favorite.
Oh, I heard that, and I hate that I got it clipped off. I always like the accolades. Just let me sleep. I did hear part of that. I heard enough of it to say thank you. Tap the screen, folks. Get your boy up to 30,000 likes. This is a MAGA-friendly program. I make no qualms about it. I do not ban, block, or censor anyone for their commentary, regardless if I agree or not with you. Doesn't mean a damn thing. I value your opinions. Going back to the box. It is Greg's house. Okay. Welcome to my house, Greg. Good afternoon. I appreciate you holding, man. TikTok moves all the names around. Appreciate you holding. Yeah. So what do you think about DeSantis making this a chip?
Well, the thing is, when I requested last time, you were talking about classified documents, and I literally missed the ball. So the last time that I requested, when you were talking about it before, I tried to get in and talk about what the differences were, and I couldn't get in then either. So I realized...
Give me your spiel. We can go with that. Give me the differences between Trump and Biden. They both were found with classified documents. Yes. Talk to me.
So both are wrong. Both are not able to take them. There is a talking point going around that a VP can somehow... That's somehow a VP... It is false. Yes, it's completely false. Neither of them are able to have classified documents. So in an equal world, both would be charged, period. Full stop. And the difference, though, is just the time that it took for President Trump to give those classified documents over. So That is the difference. If there will be a charge, it will be obstruction. And Donald Trump will be charged with obstruction. Now, your last caller, Kitty, has said, Garland has no backbone. So, yeah, sure. I agree with that. And I don't think that he will be charged because of that. This whole notion, there's a lot of talking points that I'm tired of hearing because they're so false and they're so wrong. And again, in the comments, 6 years for Biden, 18 months for Trump.
Six years. That's hilarious.
So again, we don't know. We do not know if any of these documents were technically classified or declassified. What we do know is that today, President Trump seems to have changed his tune. He came out and put out a True Social, and he said, I don't know if you saw it yet, but he said, I had folders. That's all I had was folders. You could clearly see the picture has literal documents sitting there. So now he's trying to change a tune. You know what he didn't say in that comment? He didn't say they were declassified. He just said he had folders.
You know, it's interesting you said it because I was just about to ask you something in the comments that came from, I think it said Shannon Donnell or something like that. In the comment is he declassified them before he walked out. I get a lot of folks in regards to defending Trump that are suggesting that he declassified the documents. My response is always the same. How the hell do you know that other than him telling you that? There is absolutely no
They
evidence.
don't know. They do not know anything. Right. Yeah, they don't know anything. They're making what they want in their brain to be the correct answer. But the difference between me and a Trump supporter is if both of them broke the law, they're going to jail and they deserve to. Period. And that is what the whole thing should be. But of course, we get these comments, we get these things like, again, 6 years. For all we know, Joe Biden grabbed a couple of pieces of documents that were declassified from Obama, and he's smart enough not to say anything about it while he's under investigation. So that is the difference for me. And we'll find out what happens.
But in regards to Biden, fact is, they knew he had declassified documents in his possession before the midterms, and the Biden administration deliberately kept that quiet. So that doesn't make him look good at all.
It doesn't. And it's one of those things that's like, Joe, come on, bro. Like, why did you have to do this? Like, you know what I mean? But again, we're going to find out more, and that's the reality of what investigations are. Yeah. So that's all I wanted to say.
Go ahead.
I'll let you wrap it up. The last point that I have was something about locked. Biden's weren't locked up. Trump's were locked up. Neither of them were locked up. Trump's were in Mar-a-Lago and people were going through there all the time. There were visitors and guests and people. We don't know who saw that. I saw yesterday on Fox, somebody said, we need the visitor logs. We need all that stuff. We need the visitor logs from Trump
too. I saw that too.
Like we need the visitor logs from Trump then too. Give me the visitor logs who was down there.
I agree, and I said the same thing. Basically, what I was saying is now that Biden has been found to have classified documents, and it's really energized the right wing and Fox News, they don't realize everything you're saying that needs to be done to Biden, you have to realize it also qualifies as being done to Trump. Like you mentioned, the visitor logs. You got Kid Rock supposedly stating that he was in Mar-a-Lago with Trump and was asking him, am I supposed to be seeing this shit? So in other words, Kid Rock actually got to view some classified documents and knew what he was looking at was possibly something he should not be seeing, to the point where he even brought it up. I got to move it on though, Greg. Appreciate you coming through.
Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, lock up Trump, Biden, and Hillary. Can you imagine how that would make our country look, Josh? If you just locked all these folks up. Don't we have enough incarceration in this damn country to lock up the current president and the last one? It just looks like America will be angry as hell. I think Biden is going to be sacrificed so Trump isn't president. Expo. I will tell you this. Hopefully, I don't know if I agree with that or not, but I can tell you one thing. Most liberals would take that formula any day of the week. If you could guarantee Biden, or better yet, if you could guarantee Trump would no longer be president in America, yeah, they would sacrifice Biden like the guy being kicked on 300 the movie, down in the well or whatever. Yeah, I do believe that. I do believe the Democrats would readily sacrifice Biden to get rid of Trump, but I don't know if I can see that happening. Hopefully not. Damn, that would be horrible. Handsome, make the callers back up their comments. F250, I try that. I gotta let the people speak. I can ask folks to elaborate on certain topics. If they're incapable, I can try to run it by them again, but at the end of the day, we are all adults. I can't force somebody to say something they don't want to answer. I generally try to push back if I hear something that doesn't make sense, and I hope that my viewers can see that. Nevertheless, I try to ask tough questions, and you guys do ask those of me. And that's what we're here for folks. Civilized dialogue from both sides of the aisle, because I strongly believe in my tiny-ass corner of social media, if we can have civilized dialogue from both sides of the aisle, they can do the same shit in Washington. But just not trying. Going back to the box, if the box comes up, it is J.P. Parker. And I see Judge Political. TikTok is moving your names around to the point where I have to kind of pay attention to who was being picked up. All right, Parker, good afternoon. Parker, are you with me? Okay, I got to move it on. Apparently, Parker is moved in. Trump still lost. There's a lot of folks who, even to this day, and I asked that before, I got to learn how to do polls on here because I want to ask that. Do you believe the Trump administration, Trump supporters, even MAGA, do you believe it's in their best interest to stop rehashing the 2020 election? This, this evening, or the ABC Nightly News with David Muir, just last night, featured a story of a Republican politician in the state of New Mexico that lost his election in a landslide. A state politician lost his election in a landslide, claimed that it was rigged, hired some hitmen to shoot up the homes of several of his Democratic opponents that won the election. He was just charged with that yesterday. I don't know if you guys heard about that or not, but yeah, all of these elections, the election is rigged if I lose mindset, it's starting to be dangerous. That's not to say that Stacey Abrams and some of the left-wingers didn't claim elections were rigged as well, but the violence in regards to rigged elections seems to be coming more from the right. There are folks on the left, hell, even Al Gore believes the election was stolen from him. So there are folks on the left that cry election fraud. But the folks on the right are now getting the title of being violent when they don't believe the stuff is going their way. We need to get past that. Going back to the box, Judge Political. To the program.
What's
afternoon, Judge?
What's going on? Long time.
Not much at all. We're talking Ron DeSantis.
Ron, I think he doesn't have a shot in the primary if Trump runs.
Damn.
Trump is their leader. They've told us this numerous of times, and I don't think that's going to change right now. I agree with someone that said Ron's best bet would be to go ahead, serve out his 4 years as governor. He was just reelected at 60% of the vote, and things will be died down a lot then, and he'll have a better shot.
Let's look at it this way. Hang on, because you said if he runs in 2028, things will have died down. Let's say Trump obviously is running. Let's say he wins in 2024. Right. Now in 2028, he can no longer run again. Right. Is it possible that after another 4 years of Trump, America could be so divided that when Ron DeSantis steps up, he now has no chance because of what Trump has left behind?
Okay. Are you saying chances of winning or chances of getting the Republican nomination?
Oh, shit. I get it now. I didn't know you were putting them that far down.
Yeah, because I think Ron could outperform Trump now better than he would later, especially like you said, if Trump was to win the general. But I was thinking more primary like. if he wants to guarantee shot at the primary, I think in 4 years he has a better shot because Trump's already said he's running and he announced it very early on, which means he wants the job.
Yeah, but what about, I mentioned this when I first got on the program, a bunch of prominent Michigan Republicans typed up a letter begging Ron DeSantis to enter the race. And not only did they type the letter up and all of them signed it, one of their representatives flew it down to Florida and gave it to the man personally.
Wow.
Like a quarter of the Michigan Republicans did this. So it's a lot of them, 25% of the party down there,
right.
or up there rather, in Michigan. So, I mean, there are plenty of Republicans. You think the Liz Cheneys, the Mitt Romneys, the Mitch McConnells, they all want somebody other than Trump.
Right. I don't know if they, and I get it. Ron lately has tried to come off as this middle ground. He doesn't really come off, like when I've been watching some of his little stuff in Florida, he doesn't sound as like far right as he used to. You know, he's kind of toned it down. But, you know, I think when it comes to Michigan, I think Michigan is gone. I mean, Gretchen Whitmer won the state by 10 votes. I mean, Michigan is Democrat as Democrat can be. But in Georgia, yes, Ron DeSantis could do really great. I think he could do really good in Arizona. I think he could do good in Nevada, especially what he's done with all different type of ethnic groups. I mean, Ron DeSantis, to get 60% of Florida vote, it's pretty impressive. We can't downplay it, even as a we can't.
In regards to you mentioning some what used to be fairly traditional Republican states like Arizona and Georgia and things like that, some would argue it is the antics of Trump that has flipped those states.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
That's what we've seen in every single primary. The people who didn't run on the coattails of Trump actually won. So, well, I take that back. In Wisconsin, the Republican won, but if you notice, he only won by 1 point. So it was very close. But even in Nevada, where the governor ran as a Republican, he didn't run like a Trump type campaign. You know, he ran off how the governor shut down, you know, the Democratic governor shut down the state and things like that. And it worked with the voters, right? He won, but the Democrats still won in the Senate. So, yeah, Trump is definitely a hindrance, and that's why I'm saying to DeSantis, if you probably want to wait to let the Trumpist party kind of play out one more round, because if they lose in 2024, I promise you, it's going to be so over for MAGA. It'll be unbelievable.
I don't know. I got to see that. That's an interesting take, but I get what you're saying.
So be honest. Let's say Joe Biden runs again. An 82-year-old man runs again with Trump on the ballot, and Biden wins the presidency. They pick up Senate seats. They pick up the House. They pick up governorships. You don't think the even the Trumpers would say maybe it's time?
I hear what you're saying. I got to move it on, but before I do, I will give you one phrase. If Trump screwed things up that bad, would MAGA say maybe it's time? My phrase to you is, I could shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue, and my supporters would go nowhere. I got to move it on. Appreciate you coming through. All right. Looking in the comments, Tim, new ride. Not yet. I'll move to Canada. Every voter says that. If the country continues to slide away from my values, I'm going to move to Canada. At the end of the day, when you look at the American immigration woes, what makes you think Canada would want your ass? They have immigration rules as well. I've had a Canadian come on my program and ask that. Why do you think we're just going to let you in? You don't let folks in. You're always talking about people need to go home. So why the hell are you going to show up to my country saying that your country is screwed up and expect me to let you in Canada when you don't let Mexicans in your country when they say the same thing about where they're coming from? I couldn't argue from that. I always concede good points, and that was certainly one. I want to move to Ghana. Wow. RSA for women. In regards to moving to Ghana, I just want to tackle that before I go back to the box. I used to live in Australia for a while, and folks would ask me, where are you from? America. No, where are you from? A lot of them don't realize, most African Americans, we do not know the answer to that. And they have a lot of African immigrants in that country because it's closer to Africa. A lot of Somalis and a lot of folks from Africa. I've seen far more Africans in Australia than I do see in America. Not to say there's not a lot of them here as well, but I found myself asking that to other Africans over there because most of the black people in Australia are either Aborigines or they are from Africa. And I would ask them, what country do I look like I'm from? Because I don't know. I honestly don't know. So for anybody who often tells folks of color, slavery is 200 years ago. None of that affects you today. That's my response. I don't know where I'm from. You talk to folks, they celebrate St. Patrick's Day or Bastille Day, the French do. Germans celebrate Oktoberfest. Most cultures, I don't know where I'm from. I say the same thing about food. You know, French like their bagels, or Germans like their sauerkraut. We're eating chitlins and hog mugs. We don't know where the hell is our cultural foods. We learned to make waste taste good, which to this day, a lot of African Americans are known for being able to season food because they learned to season garbage. Going back to the box. Damn, there's a whole bunch of you folks in here. I do appreciate you guys riding with your boy. I don't know the order because TikTok moves it around. So we're going to take something that's quite controversial. Murder. I can't pronounce your name without getting banned. Murder. Good afternoon.
How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. We're talking about Ron DeSantis. Go ahead.
Well, going back to my name, Murder SRT is the name of my car. So that's just the name of my car.
Okay.
That's all that is.
All right.
Well, Ron DeSantis.
Go ahead, Ron DeSantis. Go ahead.
I think I'm a Democrat. Okay. I think Ron DeSantis would be better for the party, for the Republican Party.
Why? Why so?
For the simple fact that I'm not going to say that Trump didn't do good stuff in office while he was in there. I'm not going to say that. But he did bad stuff too, and a lot of it was his mouth that he couldn't stop talking. And he divided the country. He allowed a lot of people to, not allowed, but I mean, people always are allowed to say what they have to say and want to say, which is our freedom of speech. Okay, he just brought it to the forefront, and he made it to where it was more easier to be accepted by a lot of people, especially, and I hate to say it, upon the poorly educated.
Well, he did say I like the poorly educated, didn't he?
Yeah, he did say that, and you know, and that is a weapon. You know, I mean, I'm originally from Chicago, and I moved to Texas, and I moved to Texas, and now I live in Nevada, okay, in Las Vegas. But when I was in Texas, I used to tell these guys all the time, and I said, you know, I've never seen so many, and I hate to say it, ignorant Republicans in my life. You know,
elaborate. What do you mean when you say an ignorant Republican? What are they ignorant about?
The only thing that they stick to is the Second Amendment, and that's why they vote pretty much Republican. The younger, like my age, from like 35 to 50, okay? The Second Amendment in Texas is a lot, and I understand it, and I'm for it. I'm not against it by any means. You know what I mean?
Well, shit, they like that in Nevada too, ain't they? Arizona, Nevada.
It's an open carry here in Nevada, and it's an open carry in Texas now. Okay. I just think Trump is wrong for the country in every way. And Biden, he was the lesser of the two evils. That's probably why he got voted in. And I hate it. And when I lived in Texas, I had a lot of people tell me that they lowered the bar when Obama got elected, which is the most ignorant thing I've ever heard in my life.
What do you think they meant when they said the bar was lowered to put Obama in there?
You want the truth?
What standards were lowered? Yeah, I want the truth. Yeah.
The color standard. That's exactly what they meant.
So the bar used to be that no African American could get in, but they lowered it just to let them through.
Exactly.
That's
exactly
racist.
My point. that is racist.
That's about as
is
racist as we can
racist.
get.
And I'm not saying that every Republican is racist. I'm not saying that, hey, if the Republican Party gets back to the ways that they used to be, like with Reagan and all that, maybe it'd be a lot better for them. Hey, I didn't mind when Reagan. I mean, granted, I was younger. I was young in that, and I didn't really know anything about it. But from what I've read, I don't think Reagan was that bad. And there was always a mutual respect between the incoming and outgoing presidents. Okay, and all that was lost when Trump started putting all this fake media, fake news, fake this, fake that, and we lost, we got ripped off, and it is all carrying down to Kerry Lake. It's carrying down to all these people, and they actually believe it. I have no idea why.
Well, let me ask you in regards to you bringing up Obama though. Trigger in the comments stated that no, it was because Obama was supporting cartels and terrorism. Did you see? I mean, like, that's a comment. I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from, but go ahead.
I don't. Look, I'm going to put it to you this way. Nobody in office is for the fucking American people. Nobody. They're all out for themselves. They might make a couple points here and there to make you choose what side of the line you're going to be on. Ain't none of them out for us. Because if it was, we would be a lot better off as a country. We wouldn't have the racial divide. We wouldn't have a lot of things in this country. And I hate when Republicans, or certain Republicans, I'm not saying all of them. Oh, fuck the Democrats, fuck this, fuck that. Okay, well, don't go to any Democratic cities. Every goddamn major city, every vacation spot is a Democratic goddamn area.
I didn't think of it that well. What about Dolly Parton's area out there? You think Dollyville in Nashville? Where is she at in eastern Tennessee? I don't know about that one.
I don't either. I mean, but like I said, sir, if I don't care if the whoever runs for office, Hakeem Jeffries, hopefully soon.
I'm hearing his name more and more. Now that he replaced Nancy Pelosi, you think he's ready for the big time this quick?
I don't think this quick. I think next go around, yes, because he's gonna build his base, and you know what? And a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, he talks like Obama. He talks like Obama." Okay, that means he's educated. He's an educated man.
Good answer. So, go ahead.
No, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, I got to move it on, but I want to ask you this. Since you believe both Biden and Trump are not doing anything for the country, let's say it came down to Biden versus DeSantis. Do you think DeSantis could beat him?
No. And
you don't think DeSantis could beat him? Go ahead.
And the reason why is the new generation, which is Gen Z, is not going to allow that to happen from what the Republicans are doing right now to damage our country. Taking away rights.
You're not
taking away the women's rights. They want to raise the voting limit. They want to raise the voting limit, but keep the same age to buy a pistol and firearms. How can they not be ready to vote but be ready to buy a firearm?
I asked that question before too. That's a hell of a stance to take. But murder, I got to move it on. Appreciate you. Yes. Your name just got me cracking up, but I appreciate you coming through, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely a pleasure. All right, let's real quick. I wanted to respond to somebody. This came in a little bit earlier. Monto something said Obama is a Muslim. I don't know if the man is a Muslim or not. I know that I were in Reverend Wright's church a hell of a lot on the south side of Chicago. I am familiar with the church. I'm a 30-year resident of Chicago. So when you outcry that Obama is a Muslim, the only reason you throw that out there is to express a hatred towards the Muslim religion, meaning that if he is part of the religion, he should be disqualified for running for office. When you say you don't want to hear, this is for my beloved MAGA folks, when you say you do not want people suggesting that MAGA, the Republicans or conservatives are intolerant, get comments like that out of your party. That right there, because first of all, there is a small sect of voters in this country that identify as Muslim. So when you make those statements like that, and there was an older elderly woman, for you guys who do remember at the time, when Obama was running against John McCain was having a town hall, and a woman stood up and said exactly that. I'm not voting for Obama because he is a Muslim. Now, that makes the Republican Party look like they have a hatred towards Muslims. Just understand that when you're making statements like that, certainly as late as 2023. We're not even involved in the Middle East anymore at this point. That shouldn't be coming up. All right, moving on. Yep, and McCain was so respectful towards Obama. Yeah, shout out to the late John McCain, who Trump has also ruined his reputation as well. But yeah, he took the microphone from the woman and said, no, Obama is a very respectable individual. We just have a difference of opinions. So shout out to the late John McCain for, calming that noise down before it got to be too much. And he could have did similar what Trump usually does. Is there anyone that believes that President Trump would have took the mic from that woman and made the same statement? Who cares? Laters. See you there. Get white supremacists out of the Democratic vocabulary. Now, if you wanted to say you believe the Democrats has a lot of white supremacists in the party, we could debate that. But get it out of the vocabulary. If white supremacy is an actual word, if it is an actual term, why would you suggest people remove it from their vocabulary? Are you suggesting we go to the dictionary and take out certain terms that you may not agree with? I don't know. That almost sounds like rewriting history. Maybe I'm wrong. All right, going back to the box. Rainy Kane, I saw you in here earlier. I appreciate you holding and coming back. Rainy, good afternoon and welcome back. Hey, what's up? What's up? Good afternoon.
So were you talking DeSantis in general, or we're
still asking, is DeSantis, is he even going to run in 2024? Because it does appear as if a quarter of the state Republican politicians in Michigan are asking him to do so.
I hope he does run. Please let him run. It will be the easiest Democrat. We can put a Joe Biden, a Rock. It won't even matter. And like the last person said, the young people ain't about to tolerate no Ron DeSantis. That's just not going to happen. The way that he's treating the young people didn't support Trump neither. We got to remember, we got more young people voters in the last now it would be last 8 years. There are more young people voters that just turned 18 in the last 8, or by that time, 8 years.
But a lot of that young, energized youth vote is coming from the dislike of Trump being so strong. If you make politics boring again, I would contend that a lot of younger voters would get back out of the game. So if you put DeSantis in there and he's not doing things to piss people off like Trump was doing, or make people love him, because Trump was also making a lot of folks passionately follow him. DeSantis doesn't have that same.
No, but you think either you're not following what he's been doing to even young people in schools.
It ain't the same as Trump. It ain't. To me, DeSantis is trying to be Trump light. He's trying to do a few things here and there, but he don't have the same flair to piss people off or passionately make people follow him like President Trump.
I don't think people are willing to take up arms for DeSantis. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
If you want me to say, I can concede that fact like they were for Trump, willing to overthrow the government. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So in that case, I would agree.
Let me ask it to you this way. DeSantis and Trump get into a fight, verbal sparring among the Republican Party. Who do you think with Republicans is going to emerge successful if Trump and DeSantis get into it?
I'm not disillusioned. It's going to be Trump. The only way Trump doesn't win that primary is if the donors or something major happens. Either the donors revolt or the church. If he loses the evangelicals, like they're trying to say, he needs to move on. If he loses the evangelicals, he ain't gonna win. But for the most part, I think it's definitely Trump.
So at this point, is there anyone with an R after their name that could be competitive with Trump at all?
No, I mean, I just believe that the Republican Party is no longer about conservatism, right? This is all what do you call the word? It's a performative party now. How much can you hate the liberals? How much can you just completely be opposition? It's they don't want to
Well,
govern.
but if
They
what
don't
you're
even want to
saying,
govern.
yeah, but if what you're saying is true, where he has that sort of a following, that sort of mindset to turn folks against the liberals, why wouldn't he win in 2024? It sounded to me like he would
Well,
be a
I think
winning
he
candidate
will.
overall.
I think he would win. I'm saying he cannot win without the evangelical vote. And I think he would win against Ron DeSantis, right? I think that's
No, no,
just
no.
where
I
the
mean,
party
I
is.
mean overall. I mean win against Biden too.
Oh, no. No. No.
Not there. Don't
No,
go there, huh?
again, I hope he does win the primary too. Like, please let it be Donald Trump so he can lose again.
So
It
you
is
do see a Biden Trump rematch going to Biden again at 82,
absolutely. Well, you
82
got to
years old.
remember Joe Biden won with a lot of Republican votes. And I think even more Republicans would just be so disdained that they would. I mean, I'm talking about the sane moderates, not the crazies, right? That's what I'm referring to.
So
I think
I
they
have
would
to ask
completely
you.
revolt.
Yeah, but so let's take what you're saying. You do believe Trump will ultimately make it to the top of the Republican ticket. You do believe Biden would beat Trump in a Trump-Biden rematch. If that is the case, why are there so many liberals that do not want Biden to run again? Because Trump is going to be the guy to beat. And if you believe he can beat him, he should be the guy to run for office again.
Well, yeah, liberals, I mean, we're on some bullshit, right? I mean, honestly, it's because Joe Biden is 80 years old, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem here. No one's actually looking at what this man, literally no other president has passed as many bills for this country than Joe Biden. So, I mean, I feel like people are not looking at the man's record. Like his record is just undeniable. That's my
So
opinion.
it's just all
And
ageism. It's just the liberal party, the woke party, the party that cancels folks. They're going to be acting in a manner that is consistent with ageism. The party that would be most against that is going against a candidate that they believe could beat Trump simply because of his age. Do you realize how bad that looks?
it's a terrible situation. Like I said, I'm not gonna be disillusioned on that. It's not Joe Biden's record because nobody can say he did not pretty much just do in 2 years, 70% of what he's ran on, he has actually passed. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just something that we don't even see. Donald Trump didn't even do half the shit he ran on in 4 years. But people will still vote for him because again, it's a theatrical movement, right? That's all that is, in my opinion.
Fair enough. All right, baby. Appreciate you coming through.
Talk to you
Ageism.
soon, my friend.
Absolutely. Good talk. All right. Moving on in the, and, you know, that's crazy that, and she's not, I don't think what she's saying is wrong at all. That I do believe a lot of folks on the left believe that a Trump Biden rematch, they believe, folks on the left believe that Biden would prevail, but nevertheless, they still keep saying they do not want Biden to run because of his age. Shout out to the incarcerated R. Kelly and the late Aaliyah. Age ain't nothing but a number. Why would you not want the man you feel could win to run again? That is the sole reason why you elected him to begin with. You didn't like Biden in 2020. You voted him in. You voted him in because you thought he could win. He did that. And you're going to reward the man come the next election by telling him now you're too damn old. That does make Democrats look stupid. That makes Democrats look ridiculous. The party of cancel culture, the party that defends women, the party that defends the LGBT, tossing the elderly under the bus. Damn, I'm sounding like a conservative talk show host. Anyhow, folks, it is a lunch break live, and you know what we do around this time. I do have to move it on. As always, I appreciate the 36,000 likes in a MAGA-friendly zone. Liberals are always welcome, so shout out to that. You could be anywhere you want to be on TikTok. The fact that you're here with your boy is always a pleasure, always an honor. Catch you on the next live stream.